I picked up a little girl during a famine, but 300 years later, in the great war between immortals and demons, she, now a demon lord, shot an arrow right through my heart. Stepping on my body like I was a dead dog, she sneered, "Huayan, when you set me up back then, did you ever see this coming?" But what she didn't know was, I wanted to die by her hands. I made a deal with the system. If I finish this mission, I get to go back to Earth. That's why I stole the immortal sword and betrayed my sect 300 years ago, just to reach the immortal venerable realm while leaving her to rot in the sect's dungeon. Otherwise, with my power, how could I not dodge an attack from the very person I trained? The one standing in front of me is the only female demon lord in this world, Luo Lingshuang, my former junior martial sister. Feeling my life slipping away, I could only smile bitterly. Was it all really worth it? She didn't say a word. Instead, she yanked the Hensheng sword out of me, splashing blood all over her face. She stomped me into the ground, looking down at me. Those eyes, once as clear as a mountain stream, now looked like they were frozen in 1,000 years of ice. But deep down in that ice, there was a tiny, almost unnoticeable tremble. Chen Huayan, do you have any last words? I opened my mouth, but it was just filled with blood. The system's rule was simple. I had to die by her sword. I couldn't say anything that might mess with her head, or I'd fail and never see Earth again. So I kept my mouth shut. She crouched down, her slender fingers gripping my chin. She forced my face up, making me look right into her eyes. Chen Huayan, I'm asking you one last time. Her face was full of murderous intent, but her voice was shaking. Are you really not going to say it? I knew exactly what she wanted to hear. She wanted an apology. She wanted me to admit that betraying her was a mistake. She wanted me to tell her, face to face, that I actually cared back then, that the warmth I gave her wasn't fake, that pulling her out of hell wasn't just me using her. I looked her in the eyes and forced a smile that looked worse than crying. A long silence followed. She waited for a long time. Finally, her face turned dead cold. Fine. If you won't say it, then never say it. Watching my own blood drip from the tip of her sword, time seemed to rewind. It was the blood disaster era. Mountains were frozen over, rivers stopped flowing, and countless low-level cultivators and mortals froze to death. In that endless winter, frozen corpses littered the sides of the roads. Facing an apocalypse like that, everyone was just trying to survive. At that time, I had barely been in this world for 3 days. Following the system's guide, I found a rundown, collapsing thatched hut by the village road. The moment I pushed the door open, I saw her, a tiny figure huddled in the corner, wrapped in a ragged sackcloth. She was so small I could pick her up with just one hand. She was covered in frostbite and bruises, her breathing so faint I could barely feel it. When I knelt down and pulled her into my arms, she felt as light as a dead leaf. Don't be afraid, I'm taking you with me. The little girl didn't react, but the second I picked her up, her hand instinctively grabbed the corner of my clothes. She held on tight, like a drowning person grabbing onto their last piece of driftwood. I found out about her past later. Her name was Luo Lingshuang. Her mother died when she was born, and the village kicked her out. A 5-year-old kid, living at the very bottom of a world even crueler than the cultivation world, fighting wild dogs for food every day and sleeping in haystacks by the road. I honestly don't know how she survived until I showed up. Maybe God just wanted her to suffer a bit more. To feed her, I joined the Zhuantian sect as an outer disciple doing odd jobs. Sweeping, chopping wood, hauling spirit stones, cleaning alchemy furnaces, feeding spirit beasts. I did it all. 24/7, if I wasn't sleeping, I was working. The pay was pitiful, barely enough to buy some cheap grain and cloth. But Luo Lingshuang grew up, from 5 to 10, and from 10 to 15, blooming into a beautiful young woman. She was incredibly talented, way better than me. An elder took a liking to me, so I went from doing odd jobs to being an outer disciple, and 10 years later, I made it into the inner sect. She followed me into the Zhuantian sect too, becoming my junior martial sister. Those days were the best I had, in my 300 years in this world. My thoughts were dragged back to reality as the Hensheng sword slashed down. But at the very last second, I noticed something. Her hand holding the sword was shaking. Right as the sword pierced my body, there was a fleeting moment of emptiness in her eyes, but it was instantly replaced by cruelty. My body started to turn to dust. On this blood-soaked battlefield, all that was left behind me were the screams of the righteous army being slaughtered by demon cultivators. Before my vision went completely dark, the last thing I saw was her back. So lonely. Just like my little junior sister from 300 years ago, standing on Hangxiao Peak, waiting for me for a whole day and night. In the end, I never got to say those 3 words. I'm sorry. Time shifts back 300 years. It was my 3rd year in the Zhuantian sect's inner circle. Back then, I was already at the late Golden Core stage, pretty top tier among my peers. But Luo Lingshuang was faster. She joined late, but her talent crushed everyone else. In just a few years, she hit the peak of the Golden Core stage and was on the verge of breaking through to the nascent Soul stage. The whole sect called her a once-in-a-century genius. I was secretly thrilled. Even though I kept up my serious senior brother act on the outside, inside, I was bursting with pride. That was the little girl I raised. Around that time, Luo Lingshuang was assigned to the sect's treasure pavilion as one of the guards. It showed how much the sect trusted and valued her. But then, a new mission popped up. Steal the Zhuantian sect's ultimate treasure for the demon realm. The details? Ally with demon factions to